Ladies and gentlemen, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Recently, Call of Duty and Xbox ended up announcing a new change that could be coming this year. It seems like it's going to be, that I just can't imagine is going to sit well with a lot of Call of Duty players, particularly because it's happening this year of all years with Call of Duty. So we recently got this report from Charlie Intel where they say, Xbox says some new first-party games launching this holiday season are going to cost $79.99, up from the $69.99 price that we have been paying as of late, which is also up from the $59.99 price that we used to pay for games, right? This most likely confirms Call of Duty 2025 will be $79.99 when it launches this year. That's the base version of the game. We'll expand on that more in just a bit, but essentially a price increase coming this year for Black Ops 7, presumably. That's what all the leaks and all the rumors say for this. And there's a lot more to this. From this initial report, we're going to dive into a blog here in just a moment from Dexterdo and Charlie Intel talking about this. But this happening this year, as I mentioned, is definitely going to probably annoy a lot of players. Probably not going to sit well with many either because of the situation coming up with Call of Duty 2025. But we do have this full blog breakdown. Call of Duty 2025 set to cost almost $100 as Microsoft hikes game prices. And in this, they go on to say, Microsoft has announced that it'll be increasing the price tag on select first-party titles to essentially $80 US in 2025. And considering Call of Duty is one of the highest profile games, and it's now officially a first-party game since Microsoft owns Activision, of course, it's safe to say it'll be on the list. There have been rumors of price increases for years now, with publishers pushing the base price of AAA titles from $60 to $70 over the course of this console generation, as I just mentioned there. PlayStation has already bumped up the cost of their PS5 console in select regions. Xbox systems just actually got confirmed to be receiving a big price increase in the US as well. Nintendo is pricing their games at $80 on the Switch too, and now Xbox games are going to get more expensive. So Black Ops 7 is the rumored mainline Call of Duty release in 2025, with Treyarch going back to back and continuing the series. This will be the first time ever that we have the same studio going back to back in consecutive years for a COD title. Obviously, we had MW2 and MW3 being the first time we ever had a direct sequel follow up a game in the next year, but Modern Warfare 2 was Infinity Ward developed, Modern Warfare 3 was Sledgehammer developed, so there wasn't necessarily the same stress on the studios creating those games in back-to-back years. Now, Sledgehammer had very limited time. They had basically like less than half the dev time compared to usual CODs to make Modern Warfare 3, and given that fact, the post-launch of that game was utterly insane. I think Sledgehammer deserves more credit than they get. But anyways, I digress. Treyarch, obviously in charge of Black Ops 6 this year. They've been working on this game for the past few years leading up to launch this past year, and presumably we're also double dipping into Black Ops 7 development as well, and now that's fully underway, and they're probably putting a lot of final touches on several different elements of the game there. But with this, that's stressful in and of itself. That does bring into question the quality of what we're about to see with Black Ops 7. Leaks place the game to be set in 2035, picking up where Black Ops 2's storyline left off. So again, sort of that rehashed rumor of this basically being a Black Ops 2-esque sequel. And according to Xbox, it's set to be the first Call of Duty game that costs $80 on release. Microsoft claims these changes were made based on market conditions and the rising cost of development, which is an interesting way to put it when you are going back to back with the dev studio for the very first time. And here's where things get interesting, because with Black Ops 7 being the rumor, obviously a lot of people are already jumping to the conclusion of, oh, this is going to be a Black Ops DLC. We had this same conversation when Modern Warfare 3 dropped of people saying, oh, this is just an MW2 DLC. Little did we know that Modern Warfare 3 was going to be, 2-3 times the game that Modern Warfare 2 was, of course. But with this, there's already that hesitancy there doing the back-to-back games yet again. Now, personally, I'm looking at this as, oh, okay, Modern Warfare 3 being a direct sequel the year after ended up being way better than we thought it was going to be. I'd like to see that trend happen again, and I'm hopeful they learned from that and that trend will continue. But obviously, it being Treyarch back-to-back in a completely new situation, that does cause, a little bit of hesitancy, of concern, I think, and it's valid there for sure. So right away, you see that, and it's like, okay, this game's dev time is questionable. The stress on the studio is questionable. We're not too sure what all it's going to actually include and how expansive it'll be. Oh, and it's going to cost more than any COD has before for the base version. before we even know what this game is going to be, if it's going to be higher quality to a certain extent, if there's going to be more campaign stuff to do, or more in multiplayer than ever before, or more in zombies than ever before, and how it's going to interact with Warzone. Any of these details, technically before we even know the name of the game officially, we know, or at least can assume now, it's going to cost more than any base Call of Duty has ever costed. So that in and of itself is concerning. And that's not going to sit well, I think, with a lot of players. There's obviously been a lot of complaints with the state of Call of Duty over the past few years, especially this year, post season 1 and everything. Black Ops 6 really took a downhill sort of descent there. It launched and it was honestly really solid. And then season 1 kind of messed up that trajectory a lot and derailed a lot of things. And it's sort of been recovering ever since. And then going back into Black Ops 7 right away, yeah, there's cause for concern, and then cause for annoyance now when you learn the game's going to be more expensive. And like I mentioned, that's just the base version. Then we talk about if there's going to be a cross-gen version. Maybe that's higher priced. And then you get the Vault Edition or whatever the special edition ends up being. That used to be $99, $100, whatever the case was. Maybe that's now going to be $110, $120. You're just raising the entry barrier for all of this without the guarantee that the development on this game is going to be better than Black Ops 6 or Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare 2, without the guarantee that it's going to include more and offer more and be more stable or significantly change the course of things as opposed to where they were this year, where it's a very rocky road. So the, level of mysteriousness that we have, I guess, for lack of a better word, surrounding Black Ops 7, coinciding with the fact that they're raising the price on it, that's just not a great scenario, I think. We obviously also just got word that Grand Theft Auto 6 is being delayed until, spring 2026. So that does give Black Ops 7 maybe a little bit more breathing room as opposed to if it was launching in the same month or even the same week potentially as GTA 6. When this comes out, no other game on the market, Call of Duty, Battlefield, doesn't matter. Nothing is competing with GTA 6. So I'm curious now, as we do head on into, late spring, early summer, if we're going to see more details with Black Ops 7 start to surface at a more urgent rate because they don't have to worry as much about GTA 6 anymore. But again, having the information of the pricing hikes already surfacing before any real details about what is coming up here, I think is ultimately what's probably going to, have players up in arms more than anything. But we should be getting some details, some information on what's to come here for the next COD in the coming weeks and months. And obviously, as we start to see anything, whether it's new leaks and rumors, which I'm sure will surface plenty because the COD HQ just loves to leak its own games, or as we see official stuff from Call of Duty themselves, I'll be covering all of it right as it happens. So stay tuned for that alongside everything else going on in COD by hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, despite the rather concerning news, I would say, a like rating is always appreciated, really does help the channel grow. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.